Hello, and welcome to the Stewart Tracy and Sarah Wondolowski Family News Network. I am your anchor, Stewart Tracy.
And I'm Sarah Wondolowski.
We have a lot of breaking news for you tonight.
We have breaking news. 52 Americans have been taken hostage from the embassy in Tehran, Iran by Muslim radicals. Now here's Eva on the scene at the White House.
And now we're live at the White House, listening to President Carter's message about the hostage situation.
We continue to face a grave situation in Iran, where our embassy has been seized and more than 60 American citizens continue to be held as hostages in an attempt to force unacceptable demands on our country. We're using every available channel to protect the safety of the hostages and to secure their release. Along with the families of the hostages, I have welcomed and I appreciate the restraint that has been shown by Americans during this crisis. We must continue to exhibit such constraint. Despite the intensity of our emotions, the lives of our people in Iran are at stake. I must emphasize the gravity of the situation. It's vital to the United States and to every other nation that the lives of diplomatic personnel and other citizens abroad be protected, and that we refuse to permit the use of terrorism and the seizure and the holding of hostages to impose political demands. No one should underestimate the resolve of the American government and the American people in this matter. It is necessary to eliminate any suggestion that economic pressures can weaken our stand on basic issues of principle. Our position must be clear. I am ordering that we discontinue purchasing of any oil from Iran for delivery to this country.
Iran, 1979. Demonstrators invaded the American embassy in Tehran. Demanding the return of the Shah, they took embassy personnel as hostages in violation of international law. Treaties signed by the United States and Iran state that both countries will observe the principle of diplomatic immunity, a principle which protects foreign representatives and embassy property. All appeals to free the hostages were denied by the government of Iran. The refusal constituted an unprecedented breach of the rules of normal diplomatic behavior.
Now here's Dima with a report on the Arabian boycott.
There was a meeting today in Kuwait City between the members of the Organization of Arab Petroleum Exporting Countries to raise oil prices without even consulting the Western buyers. In this 8-hour meeting, the oil ministers agreed to the embargo, a cut in production by 5% from September's output, and to continue to cut production over time in 5% increments until their economic and political objectives were met. The decision raised the posted price of oil through the roof to $5.11 per barrel. This is an increase of almost 70%. For these Arabian countries, there will be no serious economic repercussion for limiting their production of oil. Because they make so much of it, the change will be hardly noticeable. Nevertheless, Kuwait and Saudi Arabia did not want to completely destroy relationship with the United States and persuaded other more militant Arabian countries who wanted to boycott the national supply of oil completely or nationalize United States facilities in their countries.
This is a demonstration.
Here is Paul Barrett with more news from Iran.
Societies, nations, have always formulated laws to maintain order, to prevent anarchy and chaos. In similar fashion, nations have created international laws, among them rules providing for safety of their diplomatic missions abroad. Diplomatic immunity is a widely accepted principle. It assures protection for embassy personnel, even when the sending and receiving nations do not enjoy friendly relations. A violation of international law is extremely rare. The taking of American diplomatic representatives as hostages by Iranian students with the acquiescence of the Iranian government is a situation to be examined for the meaning it has for the rest of the world. From the beginning of the crisis, the United States has reacted with restraint, despite the outrage against its representatives abroad. Speaking from
Now over to Eva to give us some breaking news about Vietnam.
In Korea, U.S.'s goal to contain communism failed. North Korea overran and took over South Vietnam. The U.S. didn't lose, they left at a stalemate and supported South Vietnam. But South Vietnam eventually was overran.
Perfect. Back to national news. President Richard Nixon has just resigned following the Watergate scandal, in which 5 men were arrested for trying to plant electrical bugs in the Watergate Hotel. Now for more on the story.
The Brigashante Neekwood Johnson.
President Nixon reportedly will announce his resignation tonight, and Vice President Ford will become the nation's 38th president tomorrow. That word comes unofficially from aides and associates of both men, but not from the 2 men themselves. And the swiftly moving events of this busy day in Washington tend to confirm it. Those events included a late morning White House meeting between the president and the vice president, Ford's cancellation of a planned trip to the West Coast and Hawaii, the president's scheduling of a televised address to the nation at 9 o'clock tonight Eastern Daylight Time, and his invitation to congressional leaders of both parties to meet with him before that address. We'll return in a minute with the detailed reports.
From CBS News headquarters in Washington, this is the CBS Evening News with Walter Cronkite. And in Washington, Eric Severai.
Gerald Ford was the first president to become president by a vote of Congress. Congratulations, Mr. Ford. And now we leave you with a word from our sponsors.
Grab a bucket and mop. Scrub the bottom and top. There is nothing so clean. That's my burger machine. With a broom and a brush. Clean it up for the rush. Before you open the door, or to shine on the floor. When we finish one dance, start all over again. Tell me, what does it mean? At McDonald's it's clean. You deserve a break today. So get up and get away to McDonald's, McDonald's, McDonald's.
Another cold, honey.
Oh, you look terrible.
I feel terrible. I've been sneezing and coughing, my throat's scratchy. I feel achy and I need some rest.
Take NyQuil.
Vicks NyQuil nighttime cold medicine relieves your major cold symptoms for hours. Relieves them so well, it helps you get the rest you need.
I'm lucky to have you, Mildred.
I know.
You got a cold tonight? Put NyQuil to work.
Slinky toys are fun toys.
It's Slinky, for fun it's a wonderful toy. What walks downstairs alone or in pairs and makes a slinkity sound. A spring, a marvelous thing. Everyone knows it's Slinky, it's Slinky, it's Slinky. For fun it's a wonderful toy. It's fun for a girl and a boy.
Slinky is a toy product of James Industries.
And we're back, and here's Ollie Williams with the weather report.
It's gonna rain!
How's it raining, Ollie?
It's raining sideways!
And thank you for joining us this week on Stewart Tracy and Sarah Wondolowski's Family News Network.